Happy Monday, everyone. Words have consequences, meaning that, when you say things about a particular person, it does come back to you to bite you in the ass. When you saying certain things about someone negatively and thinking that, it may not reach to the other person or the person did not hear a clip of an interview. Not saying that you don't have your opinion or your point of view. It's the way you say it. It's the way you deliver it. And when Diddy did an interview with Charlamagne the God, and Diddy talked about Trump. How he wouldn't be a fit to be a president. He wouldn't be fit to run the country. That he rather choose Biden, even though that was not his top choice, but he'd rather choose Biden opposed to President Trump. And now all of a sudden you want President Trump to pardon you, even though you didn't really feel happy or pleased that he was going to be president of the United States. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about, Candace Owens, about this defamation lawsuit, how everyone have their opinion about it, that she is crazy. Why do anyone care about if Brigitte Macron have a penis? She's in another country. It doesn't really relevant in the United States. And why Candace Owens is so hooked about talking about this. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about it and we're going to see where it leads us. So welcome back everyone to That's It. So Candace Owens. Candace Owens is talking about Brigitte Macron's penis. That she was born as a man and transitioned as a woman, and this big whole, like I said, things that's been like crimes are committed, meaning that Brigitte Macron kind of seduced herself to Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, at the age of 14 when he was just, he was performing a play. And when Brigitte Macron took a look at him, and then she just said, oh my gosh, I just have to have my eyes on him. And she was 39, or he was 39 at the time, and he was 14. And like I said in my past videos, that's just a crime. That is sexual assault, having sex with a minor. I believe in France and any other country, that's just against the law. You cannot have sex with a minor. But they changed age. They said that he was 17, and then they doubled down saying he was 15. And now on the 219 page defamation lawsuit, now they're saying that he was 14. And I'm like, which is it? 17, 14? Whatever the case, whatever the age the age factor is, it's still against the law to have sex with underage children. I would hope it's still against the law and it's still a crime. And on top of that, that Brigitte Macron, which is actually, they're saying that it's Jean-Michel Trogneux. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly because it's in French, excuse me, that he's actually married to his son. Now that's incest, if it's true or not. With the whole, French people, the government, whatever, maybe they're running some incest human trafficking ring. I don't even know what to make of it or how to call it, if there's any terms of it. But whatever is going on over there is disgusting. There's incest involved. There's changing name, changing sex. And the whole thing is, in my opinion, again in my past video, what I said, I don't think it's about Brigitte changing her sex. It's the fact that there's incest involved and sexual perversion and pedophile, and having sex with underage boy. That's what Candace Owens is trying to put out there to the whole world, to the French community, that there's something sinister going on over there. Yes, why she's talking about it, it has nothing to do with us because we're in the United States and this is French government. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but what I'm getting out of this is that you have a powerful president in France that's doing crazy illegal things, okay? And people around their circle are allowing this, and they know about this, and that doing or saying nothing, okay? Like it's like same thing here. If you like, for example, Jeffrey Epstein, he's been having sex with underage girls for decades, and everyone knew about it. All the politicians, all the white collar men, everyone in the sun. Okay, Ghislaine Maxwell was his right hand woman who was involved in this too, who also sex trafficking young girls as well and participated as well with this. Everyone knew about it, but no one didn't say anything until shit hit the fan, and everyone and one person, a few people, the victims, reveal what was going on and told the law enforcement. And my thing is, no one didn't say anything until everything came out, and now people are outraged, and people want to know the truth, and people want to get answers, and people want other people who are involved in this to get justice, and for them to go to prison, to go to behind bars for the human trafficking ring operation. So what Candace Owens is saying is she's trying to expose the corruption. She's trying to expose the pedophile and all the things that's going on, and no one's not saying anything. However, if it was a normal, average person who don't have money, who don't have fame, who don't have power, they will go to jail. They will go to prison for having sex with underage children. You get what I'm saying? But what it seems like when it comes to people who's higher up and have connection and have money and have influence, they just turn a blind eye. And how is that fair, and how is that justice? And that's the point that I believe that where Candace Owens is coming from, and where she's trying to bring awareness and let people know that this is unacceptable. This is actually disgusting, and it's sinister, and it's just pure evil, that it's not okay for grown adults to have sex with underage children and thinking that it's okay, and then they can just get away with it like nothing happened and just turn a blind eye. We wouldn't do it in the United States. Actually, they did actually with Jeffrey Epstein, because he was rich, he had money, he donated a lot of money to foundations just to shut him up, and so people wouldn't say anything. With that being said, if it was another average person doing that to another child, they'd be arrested. They'd be arrested, trial, and waiting for sentencing, and go to prison for the rest of their lives. But that's okay for a normal person to do that. But when it comes to rich and powerful people, it's fine. It's fine. They can just get a pass and hopefully make sure they don't do it again, which is just unacceptable. You know what I mean? And it's just not right. It's absolutely not right, and it's just absolutely wrong and disgusting. And a lot of people are going to have their point of views and say that Candace Owens is deranged. She's just miserable. Why she's so health focused on Brigitte Macron. I get it. I get it why she's focused on this, but you have to keep in mind this was not her story. She's not the one who pursued it. She heard about it from Xavier Pressard, who's been researching this for the past 10 years, you guys. Past 10 years. And it just caught Candace Owens' attention when she was on the Daily Wire. She knew that something was very off about this story. She's a very smart, intelligent woman. She likes to investigate. She likes to do research, just like anyone else. If we come across something that we see and then that we feel like something's odd, something just very weird, we just want to dig in and do an investigation. Just like anything, like with true crime or anything that you watch in a documentary or things that's happening in the world when a child goes missing or you hear a crazy, outrageous story, you just want to look into it. And that's all she did. She just looked into it, and then she found something crazy and weird, and then all she did was just report her theories. That's it. And everyone is just going crazy that she's the one who started the whole thing when she actually didn't. And I just don't understand why everyone is just so hard on her. You know what I mean? And saying that she's just crazy, she's just unhinged, she's just too focused on this, and she should be focused on other things. This is a big story, to talk about, because what she's saying and letting us know that, again, this is not okay. This is not okay for a 39-year-old man try to pursue a 14-year-old boy. Can you imagine a 30-year-old male or female try to seduce your child at school when they should be just getting educated and learning something instead of having a teacher pursue a young 14-year-old boy or a girl? It's just disgusting and it's wrong. Because if it happened here in the United States and your child told you, by the way, mommy, daddy, mom, a teacher did something inappropriate with me, what would you do? You will investigate and you will call the cops and you will call the school and figure out what the hell is going on. Why my child is telling me that a teacher did something inappropriate? You will do something. You'll be outraged and pissed. It's the same thing, but it's just in a different country. Different country. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this because I came across this TikTok video of this woman saying what she said about Candace Owens. And to be quite frank with you guys, I really don't care what she said about Candace Owens because she has her opinion. Everyone has a title of free speech and voice their opinion. It's just the fact that I didn't like the fact that she said that Candace Owens is going to deserve what she gets. Like, basically, whatever happens to her, she deserves it. Like, to lose her money, to lose her livelihood, to anything. She was talking about her husband, and I'm like, do you really have to go that far and say that? You know what I mean? It's like, that's just not right. You know what I mean? You may disagree with her, you may not like her, and that's okay. That's okay. We don't. There's people that I don't like. However, I'm not going to say, well, I want this person to go down and I want this person to go bankrupt and lose money and lose everything and let her and her children suffer. I will never say that to anyone. I may dislike someone who may not agree on things, but I will never say to another person or to another human being, well, I want everything to be taken away from you because you deserve it because of what you said. That is absolutely wrong and despicable and it's disgusting. And shame on this woman for saying that. You know, I don't know this one from the hole on the wall, but it's just absolutely disgusting for you to say that about another person because you don't like what she's reporting. You know, if you don't like what she's reporting, that's fine. That's fine. But to actually say you wish that something will happen to her and her family, that is absolutely wrong. That is not Christ-like, okay? That is not Christ-like. Whether you are a Christian or not, or it's just not Christ-like. And I'm just going to let you listen to what she has to say in her own words. It is utterly disgusting. I really feel sorry for this woman. I'm definitely going to pray for her because you just don't say that about another human being at all. Whatever the circumstances is, you just don't say it. And that's what I say in the beginning of my intro. Words have consequences. Words have meaning. When you say things, you can't take them back. You can apologize and you have to forgive the person. However, there's consequences for your action. There's consequences for your words. And the same thing with Diddy, what he said about Donald Trump, which I'm going to share with you a clipping of that as well. But first, let me let you listen to this woman on TikTok and hear what she has to say about Candace Owens. So take a listen. Oops, sorry. What just happened here? Oh, there we go. Thought I lost the video.
So, how many of you are here for the downfall of Candace Owens? I know I am. So, by now we all know that she's being sued by Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, because she keeps saying that Brigitte Macron is actually a man, right? Now, most of us with good sense, when we say something that's incorrect, right? And somebody says, hey, you need to stop saying that or we're going to sue your ass. Most of us would stop saying that. No, not Candace.
I have to stop right there. If you have proof and you have all the evidence, why would Candace Owens stop? You get what I'm saying? I don't think she would just say something just to get sued. You get what I'm saying? She has all the proof to say Brigitte Macron is a man. Is Brigitte Macron is not providing any proof that she was born as a woman and gave birth and went to college and went to school and all that stuff. She's not doing that. She could have easily debunked this a year ago. She chose not to. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's none of Candace Owens or anyone's business if Brigitte Macron have a penis or not. You're right. It's none of her business. However, when you lie to the French people and this man has sex with a 14-year-old, then that's when I have a problem. And you should have a problem too. You should think that that is weird. And on top of that, if it's true that Brigitte Macron married his own son, that's incest involved in that family, okay? That's utterly disgusting. Would you be okay if one of your family members has sex with your child? Or you find out your husband has sex with your daughter or your son? It's disgusting. It's wrong and it's against the law. You can't do that. That's why there's laws in place. You cannot have sex with your family member. Again, that's incest, that's gross, and that's disgusting. And before I continue with this video, Candace Owens she's happy for this lawsuit. Have you heard anyone that's happy of pursuing this lawsuit? She wants it to happen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just very dumb and I just don't have common sense. I don't know anyone who's pleased want to move forward with this lawsuit if you don't have any proof of evidence to back up your claim. Think about this. Why would Candace Owens be happy and pleased to move forward with this defamation lawsuit if she don't have any proof to back it up? She is confident, you guys, confident enough. Now, to me, when someone's confident enough and they want to pursue this lawsuit, to me, she's telling the truth and she has nothing to hide, okay? A lot of people, when they go through lawsuits or defamation, they settle it outside of court. And to me, when you settle things outside of court, a couple possible things. You're guilty, 1. 2, you don't want the whole world to know your business and what's going on. 3, you don't want the truth to be exposed. So, Brigitte Macron, their team, their PR, they're stupid because they're taking a big risk. So if they proceed with this in a court in Delaware or based on where Candace Owens live, the court is going to ask proof of Brigitte Macron of providing pictures or anything because, again, she's suing Candace Owens. It's not like Candace Owens is suing Brigitte Macron, okay? Brigitte Macron is suing Candace Owens for defamation, saying that Candace Owens is slandering her in her name and accusing her of being a man opposed to a woman. So Brigitte Macron have to provide proof of that. Now, will that happen? I don't know. They're taking a big risk on their part, okay? I am confident enough that Candace Owens is going to win this lawsuit, okay? She's going to get a lot of money out of this. You don't believe me? You wait and see. That's how confident I am, that she's going to win this lawsuit, and there's no way this woman is going to debunk everything. Again, this whole thing is about embarrassing Candace Owens, make her feel like she's stupid and dumb, and that she don't know what she's talking about, that everything's going to blow up in her face. Well, I'm sorry to say this to you guys, whether you believe me or not, everything is going to blow up on Brigitte Macron's face and their entire family. That everyone is going to see the truth and everything is going to be exposed, unless, God forbid, something happens to Brigitte Macron, then that's it. You know what I mean? It's just a very, very PR tactic move, what they're doing on their end, and then they make it seem like Candace Owens is the devil, that she's the one who's attacking Brigitte Macron, when it's the other way around. Their team simply asked them questions. They refuse. If you know that you were born as a woman, okay, why not show proof? You don't have to show everything. Just show it. Or just keep your mouth shut and not say anything. It's Candace's word against yours. Is that, you know what I mean? Like, you don't owe Candace Owens anything, but why keep pursuing this then? You know what I mean? If you know 100% that you were born as a woman, why would you care of a podcaster who has many followers say anything about you? You get what I'm saying? Like, if someone says something about me and I'm hiding it and I'm covering up and I know that I was a man, but I transitioned as a woman, and someone's saying something about me, which I know is true, but I don't want anyone to find out, I'm going to keep my mother effing mouth shut and not say anything. I'm going to let this person talk because I don't want my dirty little secret to be exposed that I was a man and I pursued a 14-year-old boy when I knew that was wrong. I would have kept my mouth shut. But no, Brigitte Macron, they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that. That's stupid and foolish on their part. Me, if I was guilty of something, I would just kept my mouth shut and not say anything. And then the whole world wouldn't know about my business. But she or he made it everyone's business, and she's the one who started, or he started it. Let me just continue on. I'm sorry for the ramping on, but I just had to put it out there so I don't lose my train of thought and just say that. But let's continue on what this woman had to say.
Not only did she double down, she done said some more shit. So now she's out here saying that Brigitte Trogneux, that's her maiden name, died. And that her dying wish was to give her identity to her brother, who is now Brigitte Macron. When asked about the evidence, she said, there is no evidence of Brigitte Trogneux dying.
She's correct.
And therefore, that's enough for her to conclude that her brother took over.
See, she didn't listen to the whole Candace Owens podcast. Candace Owens said her theory is that Brigitte Macron's sister, well, Jean-Michel's sister, Brigitte Trogneux, maybe something happened to her because there's no pictures of the sister anywhere or her walking around anywhere. So Candace Owens was saying in her podcast, is it possible, and this is a theory that she was going with, that maybe his sister got sick, passed away, Jean-Michel, maybe he didn't want to be, at that time, transitioning was not a thing. You know what I mean? People didn't talk about that. And maybe he was still in the closet. He didn't want anyone to know that he really wanted to be a woman. Like deep down in his mind, body, and soul, that he was born as a woman instead of a man. So what Candace Owens was saying in her podcast, is it possible on her sister's dying bed, listen, take my identity because I love you so much and I know this is killing you inside for not being your true self. So instead, take my identity as me and then you can transition as a woman and then you can use my name. That's what Candace Owens is saying. She was not saying that this actually happened. She was saying that she believed that's a theory. Candace Owens did not say that happened. A theory. See, people like to twist words. Why people twist words? Why people just don't open their ears and actually listen? Why people have to twist things? That's the thing I don't like. You know what I mean? People have to twist words and take words out of context and then just say, well, this person said this. That's not all that. It's like telephone. You know what I mean? Listen. Just listen. Because that's not what she said. But continue on.
Her identity. I hope them people sue her ass into oblivion. I hope they sue her so much that her kids got to pay restitution.
You see, you have to bring the children involved. Innocent children. That's why, see, this is why I don't like. Okay, if you have an issue with Candace Owens and her husband, that's fine. Why do people have to bring children involved? I think children are off limits, and husbands too. Yeah, off limits. If you have an issue with someone, just have an issue with that particular person. But leave the kids alone. The kids have nothing to do with it. And for her to say that, pure evil. She's an evil woman.
To whoever over there in France, I hope that they sue her husband into bankruptcy. And I know some people are going to say, oh, don't wish that on them.
Shouldn't.
This lady has wreaked havoc on so many lives, said so many effed up things about so many people. She deserves whatever hell is about to be unleashed on her. And I am here for it. And if you are not on the we hope Candace gets stomped out train, feel free to scroll. You ain't got to watch this video. You don't even have to comment. Just go on. And if you want to comment, don't worry. I'm here. I get with you in the comments. But I really hope, you know what? You remember when Sid said that white people are on the wish factor, but black people white people on the hope factor and black people on the wish factor? I wish somebody would get in my comments and try to talk to me.
Girl, bye. I'm over this. I'm over her. Talking all nonsense over her. Listen, she's crazy. I don't know her name, but she's crazy. Just the fact that you wish something would happen to her kids, that her children would pay restitution. No, it's just evil. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? What lies have she told Candace Owens? I would like to know. And she has not pointed anything out. What lies? If she lied about anything, don't you think that it will be exposed by now? Don't you think that they tried to catch her, or try to catch her every single lie or anything? They couldn't find anything. And this is what I'm saying. When you tell the truth, there's nothing to hide. Okay? But when you keep lying and lying and lying, you have to keep covering up your lie. People are going to see your lies. People are going to say, oh, you lied about this. You said about this. This woman have not lied at all. People try to come after her and say she said it, and it's all been debunked. Okay? Candace Owens don't need to lie about anything. Okay? She has not lied about anything. She just reports what she reports. She does her research thoroughly. Okay? She has a great team behind her. Great husband supporting her and everything. I don't know what she lied about. I don't know why people are even saying all these crazy things. But again, everyone has entitled to their opinion, entitled to what they say. I did not comment on a woman's comment on TikTok because it's just foolishness. Again, I don't have time to go back and forth with unhinged people. She seemed unhinged and wrong. And like I said, words have meaning. Words have consequences. And like I said, you may not agree with everyone. A lot of people don't agree with me, but you know what? When I tell the truth, I know the truth is on my side. I know the truth always wins, that I don't have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. And it seemed like Candace Owens, she has nothing to fear, nothing to worry about, because all she does is tell the truth. That's why she wants this lawsuit, okay? Who in their right mind wants a lawsuit? She wants it because she wants the truth to come out. She's smart. She's a smart woman, okay? Because she wants to expose Brigitte Macron, the pervert that he is, okay? That's why she wants this lawsuit. That's why she wants to continue with it. That's why she's not backing down, and rightfully so. I wouldn't back down, especially everyone saying, I'm crazy, I'm deranged, I'm unhinged. Why are you talking about some man's penis, whether they transition or not? No, she wants it to be exposed so the whole world can know. And can I just say this? Even, let's say the truth comes out, and everything that Candace Owens said is true, which I believe. You think anyone's going to give her credit? You think anyone's going to say, oh, Candace? No, they're just going to say some other crazy rhetoric thing that, you know what I mean? It's sort of like acknowledge that she was telling the truth. And that's the thing. People don't want to hear the truth. That's the reality of it. And that's why people get upset with the government when they're not forthcoming with stuff, because people don't want to hear it. They say that we can handle the truth. We can handle anything that comes. That comes. Can you? Because it seems like when people do tell the truth and when people do provide evidence of everything, it's still not enough. It's still not good enough. You try to make excuses. Oh, that's a lie. Or that's not true. I'm just saying people don't want to know the truth. People can't handle the truth and they don't want to know the truth. And that's sad when the truth is super important. Transparency is super important. But you rather believe the lies. You rather believe the rhetoric, what people are saying, opposed to the truth that's presented to you and just hand it to you on a silver platter. But it seems like the truth don't really matter to some people at all. They really don't. They rather see the evil than the good. Me, I want the good versus evil, because the good always win. Evil doesn't. It may last for a little bit, for a month or so, or a year, or a decade, but it's still evil. But good always wins. And that's all I'm going to say about that topic. Moving on to President Trump and Diddy. Now, everyone was like freaking out and scared, not scared, but nervous. Oh my gosh, President Trump may pardon Diddy. Why would he pardon Diddy? Da, 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 da. And I'm like saying to myself, why everyone's getting nervous? Getting a penny on a twist. Why are people getting nervous for? President Trump, he's not a dumb man, okay? He's very smart, very particular, very calculated, okay? And when he did interviews, when the reporters asked him, are you thinking about pardoning Diddy? And, he's smart. He knows what to say in front of the reporters and the cameras. Saying, I haven't reviewed the case, but I'm not turning it down. I may consider it. Just like when people ask him about Ghislaine Maxwell. I may consider it. I didn't go over everything. The details was not given. All the details was not given to me, but I'm going to look into it. I even knew he is not pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, and he's sure enough not going to pardon Diddy. I knew that from the beginning. I may not say it in my video, but I always knew that he ain't doing that. He make it seem like he's going to, and people's getting outraged and ridiculous. How can Trump do this? How can Trump do that? When I knew he was not going to do it in the first place. He was not going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell because she's a criminal, even though the Republican that doubled down saying that there's no files, there's no evidence, there's none of that. And now they're trying to clean up the mess that they made because they're saying, well, if there's nothing there, then why Ghislaine Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence? Why? And now she's trying to get pardoned or get clemency and stuff like that when they know there's evidence. They know that Ghislaine Maxwell was involved in the human trafficking ring. They knew this, okay? And if Ghislaine Maxwell was innocent from the beginning, and like I mentioned in my past video, why she hasn't come forward? Why she's coming forward now when she could have came forward years ago? Okay, why? That makes no sense to me. That's why I said something's off. Something just doesn't seem right, and I believe that President Trump is not going to give her clemency or give her a pardon because she is guilty as sin. She's guilty as sin. I don't care what anyone says. But back to Diddy and President Trump. And like I keep saying, words have consequences. When you say things 20 years ago, a year ago, a month ago, it's going to catch you. It's going to bite you back in the ass. It is. And it is with Diddy because he did an interview with Charlamagne the God, and he said some not really nice things about President Trump. And I'm going to let you take a listen to Diddy in his own words, what he has to say. So take a listen. Let's go to Diddy. There we go.
We're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war. White men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. When you look at it, we don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Biden. I can't say I love the pick either, but hey, we got to get him in office, and then we got to hold him accountable.
Well, hold who accountable? Biden? He was not even running the press. He was not running the country for 4 years. Someone else was running it for him because everyone knew under Joe Biden administrator that his health was declining. That's what I was getting at. His health was declining. Everyone knew it, and they all took advantage of this poor senior citizen man. Okay? And everyone wanted a piece of the pie, and they sure did. They got a piece of the pie for the last 4 years and took advantage of it. They did. They took advantage of Joe Biden. And that's absolutely wrong, and that's what they're doing their own investigation as well. I don't think that's right that, Joe Biden's administrative team knew about his health declining, and they didn't really care because they just wanted power, and they took advantage of that. They took advantage of that poor man, not knowing whether he was coming or going, if he spoke to this person or that person. They used them. They used them for their own political gain, and it's absolutely disgusting, and I hope each and one of them get punished for this and go to prison for it because it's absolutely wrong. But anyway, I'm off topic here. But yeah, you heard Diddy. Now you expect this. This is me talking to Diddy. You expect President Trump to pardon you after you said that, okay? President Trump don't forget anything, okay? He knows who likes him. He knows who's with him or not. And for you to think, for the nerve of you to ask President Trump to pardon you when you don't even like him, you couldn't even stand him. Obviously, you said it in that video with Charlamagne the God. So the nerve of you to ask President Trump to pardon you when you couldn't even stand the man and you didn't even want him as president of the United States. And the clarity, no, excuse me, I take the clarity back. Pardon me. The irony that you want him to help you when you couldn't even stand him before. Isn't that funny? That's why I said words have actions. Words have meaning. That's why you have to watch what you say. Because when you say certain things about someone, yes, they can forgive you. Absolutely. I believe in forgiveness. But again, it will bite you in the ass later on in the future. And sure enough, it is. Because President Trump did an interview this past Friday on August 1st, an exclusive interview. And one of the reporters asked them, are you going to pardon Diddy? And listen to what President Trump had to say about that.
Sean Diddy Combs,
Right.
would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they did, still in jail or something. But,
Yeah.
he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess, it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you.
Yeah, and it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know. It's more difficult. It makes it more. I'm being honest. It makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs.
I
It
would
sounds
say
like.
so.
Okay. And what about George Santos?
Okay, that's a no. N double no. Okay, capital N-O, no. He is not going to pardon Diddy, which I knew he was not going to. Like I said, Trump don't forget anything. Anyone that badmouthed him or said any ill will about President Trump, he doesn't forget. Okay, so why would Diddy even think that President Trump will pardon him? For what? No. Now you want my help? No, that's what President Trump's saying. We were cool. We were very cordial because there was pictures of them together. You know what I mean? And now when, like President Trump said, now I decided to run for office, you had a different tune. Like he was just some white devil that is going to wipe off all Black America off the face of the earth. When that was not the case when President Trump was president the first time. Okay. And now you want his help. No, thank you. Sorry. No, that's not happening. So Diddy should just get help from his attorneys and have his attorneys deal with this. In my opinion, I think Diddy should just be locked up in jail until his sentencing hearing starts in October, and that's it. Okay, he got off at 3 charges, 2 he found guilty of, and that's it. He should just rot in jail until October, and that's all I'm going to say about that. You can't, like I said, words got meaning. You can't just say things about someone and you expect them to help you. You expect them to bend over backwards and to help you. No, that's not how it works. Again, I believe in forgiveness, but my thing is, Diddy can't stand Trump. Diddy doesn't like Trump. Most people don't like President Trump, and that's just a fact, okay? They'd rather have a man that's mentally declined to run our country when he did not run our country. Someone else was, and now there's a full investigation about that. Isn't that crazy? Call me crazy. Maybe I am crazy. Maybe I'm this la vida la loca. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. Who knows? But it doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Words have consequences. You can voice your opinion. You can say what you're going to say, which that's fine. But just remember, it will bite you in the ass later on in the future. That's what I'm saying. You have to be a little bit mindful, be kind, voice your opinion, because we do live in America. We have freedom of speech, and we should have, the voice to speak about anything and everything, as long as with reason. However, just be aware when you say certain things about certain people, it's going to come back to you. And I'm saying that to that woman who said about Candace Owens. You can say whatever you want about Candace Owens, but then when you reflect on harm and stuff about her kids and her husband, that's just wrong. That's just pure evil, and that's just not necessary to say or to do about anyone. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching in on That's It, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Take care.